Hey, folks, welcome and good morning to Phoenix Business Exchange, Bell's Corners edition. And you know what? Today is a great day. It is June 1st. Oh, you know what? Reminder, send your stats to Tony. I'm also guilty of not sending them in just this for June 1st yet. So go ahead, send your stats in if you're a Phoenix member. Why do we gather these stats? Well, to show the power of reach, to show the connections that we're having, and that's super awesome. I'm going to mention August 14th is a golf tournament coming up. More details to follow up, and that's in conjunction with Canada Food Cupboard and St. Louis Bar and Grill. More details coming up. That's 175 to play an 18-hole round with cart, food included, fanfare, the whole nine things. No dancing pygmy elephants, so just keep that in mind. That if you were looking for that. I'm being silly. Sorry. My apologies. It's early in the morning and the coffee is slowly working its way through. I'm going to share a screen and show you the website. It's Phoenix Business Exchange, pbex.ca. So pbex.ca. We have a member of the week, Q, and she does insurance policies for people. And so if you're looking for life insurance, business insurance like Keyman Insurance, she does all that kind of stuff. QZ card is here. The e-card is an important tool that we have here at Phoenix, and it's meant to help people find you faster through your contact details. And we also have Q here on a little bit of a video explaining her business. To connect today, just click on this red button here, Monday morning, 8 to 9 Eastern. That will bring you right into this Zoom link. Then we have Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. Wednesday morning is the East End, and Thursday morning is the South End group. June 30th, after 7 p.m., after hours group, that is where we meet and we do an accountability group. It's to stay on target with your goals. And Penny Lee Prevo hosts that one. If you have any upcoming member events, so if you're a Phoenix member, you have an event, we will post it in our calendar and then promote it both on our social media and within our four walls. Click in that space. We have Canada Growth Network, and Vance Morris is coming in, and he's talking today about how to keep your customers, because that's kind of the goal you have. Sometimes finding new customers costs more. And then we have East Trade Winds, and that's going to be Vanessa Burns, and she helps people. East Trade Winds is tomorrow at 8 to 9 Eastern, and Vanessa helps people find funding. She does it globally. So if you're looking for grants, etc., and she's certified in that. So Canada Growth Network is 1 to 2 p.m., free to attend on Monday, and East Trade Winds is Tuesday, 8 to 9, free to attend. Bell's Corners is meeting in person at Hive on June 15th. We will have a guest speaker for that one. It's Burkett Foster from storm.ca. They're a local ISP provider, so it should be a good one. He's going to come in person because his office is right across from Mount Hive. Guess where I met Burkett? All right, South End Group, June 25th, in-person meeting, and that's at 7:30. So at Hive and at River Lounge, 7:30. It's both in person and live on Zoom. Come on in. QR directory for all members. So if you hear someone talking today going, I need a bit more information on that, just click this and drill into and find that person's contact details. E-card, that's the QR code that's over my shoulder, or the link that we have in our file. And what that does, it's part of the service. It's part of the service of being a Phoenix member. It makes it easier for people to get a hold of you. We've done over $5 million worth of business since 2016 between members, just between members. A year-to-date referral number is $25,663. So since January 9th. I'm going to stop sharing because we're going to get some words of wisdom from the ever popular For the Love of Cars, or Sam Storrows, or Connected Cars. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturris, as Bernie said, Connected Cars is my business name. Today I'm going to talk about tire pressure. Summertime is when people drive the most in their vehicles because the weather's nice, and I don't blame them. You know, want to get out there and you're, as Tony mentioned, on his motorcycle, or your car and have a nice drive in the country, or visit relatives, or go to your cottage, which we like to do in the summertime. So, what I'd like to talk about when it comes to tire pressure is setting your car up for success. Um, as you probably can imagine, tire pressure helps your tires inflate, obviously, and you're going to get better gas mileage with the higher pressure you have in your tires. Now, of course, there's a limit. All tires have a maximum pressure in them, and you don't want to exceed that at any time or even get close to it. But I like to set our tires at around 36 psi, which is about 250 kPa in the summertime, because you can significantly get better gas mileage, especially on long trips. It's not going to matter when you go to the grocery store or across town, but if you're going off to that 7 hour trip like we have to our cottage, or you're going to Toronto for a concert, or maybe Montreal to, one of these festivals and so on that go on in the summertime, you will see that you actually get better gas mileage out of the tires that are more inflated. Again, don't exceed that. So I would say around 36 psi or 250 kPa would be the maximum I like to go. But setting your car like when I was a kid at 30 pounds per pressure or 32, you're not going to get the gas mileage. They'll be nice and safe on the road, but you won't get the gas mileage you will if you inflate them just that extra 4 or 5 psi. That's it for me, Bernie. Back to you.
Sam, thank you so much. So we're going to do next is we do a round robin of what's happening in our week, what events are coming up, or any BAMs or referrals that have happened. By the way, a BAM is a business activity meeting. So it's usually between members to help spark interest. I'm going to start off with Carol Lee and then go to Shane and then followed by Eric. Carol Lee, over to you, ma'am.
Wonderful. Good morning. Thank you, Bernie. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. Great way to start off our week here at the Canada Food Cupboard. We've got an exciting week ahead. Not a lot of activities happening this week. It's pretty much business as usual. However, next weekend, so this coming Saturday, we do have a food drive from some of our neighboring communities in Canada North. So the Briarbrook and Brookside communities are hosting a food drive for us in conjunction with St. John's Anglican Church. So that's taking place on Saturday. It's great to still have food drives this time of the year. Donations, not just for the Canada Food Cupboard, but for pretty much all food banks, tend to drop drastically once we kind of hit into the summer lull. Schools are cluing up. Most groups and activities are kind of cluing up. So not a lot of community food drives are happening. And summertime, everyone heads to the cottage or to the lake. People are traveling. So just donations drop drastically. So we're very grateful to our neighbors in the Canada North neighborhoods of Briarbrook and Brookside to do a food drive for us. So hopefully the donations that come in this coming Saturday will help us over the next week or so, just to kind of continue with having full shelves and help us with full fridges. With that being said, we are headed into the season of donations picking up and ramping up from all of our partners with our gardens that we're partnered with the farms that we partner with. So it's nice to see some of that fresh produce coming in. The Canada Food Cupboard Garden, we just did our first, spring harvest, and our bok choy is ready. So that's lovely to be able to have those fresh veggies available to the families and neighbors that we serve here at the Canada Food Cupboard. So just another friendly reminder to everyone, no matter where you live, and even if you're listening outside of the Ottawa area, don't forget to support your local food banks. Everybody needs help, especially this time of the year. So thank you all.
Shirley, thank you so much. And next quick prompt is the East Trade Winds that's in the chat and the link to join us. Shane, if you're available, sir, over to you, sir.
Hey guys, can you see me? Beauty.
Yes.
Sun is shining. We're out here, guys, in the morning, getting our exercise in, our sunlight in, which helps with the hormones and everything else. So that's great. I finally figured out why Eric is not going to the FIFA soccer, World Soccer, because it doesn't make accounting sense. All right, those tickets are astronomical. I actually heard about a guy who got like 4 tickets thinking he could sell them all. And now what they've done is saying if you resell tickets, you have to pay, sell them for the face value you got them for. And then they charge you 15% on top of that for what is it, Ticketmaster or whatever. So it's not worth it to get extra tickets anymore unless you have people that are actually going to go and see it with you. Anyways, I understand, Eric, but I feel for you at the same time. Secondly, next week I'm presenting for Carol Lee, but anyways, I would have been just the next week. And we have our new physio coming in to kind of present for us. So her name is Millie. She's coming in to help us out during the day because we've had mostly our physiotherapists are there during the evening. And we were having a lot of people because we do a lot of knee arthritis, hip arthritis people that come in, and they like during the day appointments. Some of them actually you would probably know because they're, older people. That's why they want those midday appointments. So we found that we were lacking in being available during those times. So Millie's going to come in and work for us on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you get to hear her speak about her background. She used to work overseas for a couple of years, and then now she's over here. She's been working in Canada at another clinic for a year and stuff like that. So she's helping us out during those times of need. So hopefully you guys will be able to attend that and listen to what she has to say next week and have a great time with that. Sam, I love the air pressure stuff, buddy. Needed gas mileage. Guess what I got gas for yesterday, guys? 10 o'clock at night, 1.49. I sent it to my dad and my mom. I'm so excited. It's sometimes better than scoring a goal in hockey. I'll tell you that much. Love gas prices when they go down. So get your gas late at night. It's worth it. All right. Take care, guys. That's enough for me just talking your ear off. Get your aches and pains at Pro Action Health and Performance. Why, do you ask, says Bernie? Because we see results. Okay. That's what we do. See results, live a life long and prosperous. Goodbye, Yoda.
Hey, Shane, you didn't text all the rest of us so that the gas prices are at 149.
I can do that. I can send it to you.
Especially in the Canada area. That's where most of us are. Next quick promo is to reach out to Kat Hurd if you have promotional content to share, you have upcoming events and so forth. Eric, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning. Eric Sonego of Cote and Associates Professional Corporation. We have 8 offices in Canada. We represent the Ottawa office. We do, I would say, thousands of personal taxes now. This office probably does 300 or 400 ourselves. But that's not what we were meant to do. We do taxes, but that's not what we were meant to do. We were meant to do business stuff, corporations, financial statements, year ends, which is what I do, what I'm doing right now. People who understand that it's important to have an accountant. People who do not understand that it's important to have an accountant, we don't have as clients. We can be reached at 613-254-7310. Everything else is on the chat line. Thank you. Oh, we bring reason to numbers and numbers to reason.
Love it, Eric. All right. The next quick prompt is actually it's for 1 to 2 p.m. Vance Morris at Canada Growth Network. Tony, over to you, sir. And then Sam.
Okay, well, thank you, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group, medium clairvoyant, and I focus a lot on business. A lot of businesses seem to come to me because they're just things going on in their life personally, and I can always see the energetic connection between our personal life and business. So one example was I was recently attended one of the seminars, and one of the ladies had mentioned that they're renovating, and it's going to take several months before everything is completed. And right away, that's a red flag for me, because women in general in feng shui holds all of the energy. Believe it or not, that's just the way the energies are. Guys protect and the women hold. The when there's a renovation and everything is being renovated, in other words, walls are being moved, brand new kitchen. I mean, the whole house is in disarray. That affects number one, money, health, relationships, in that order. And so she said, no, it won't be a big deal. It's only going to take 18 months to a year to do it. And I says, well, okay, that's I did what I could, but I see a perspective in very differently than most when we look at energy. So if you're looking for those kinds of things, whether it's a reading or coming in for a personal tuning session, it's all about balance. It's all about bringing that sense of being centered, and then you're so empowered. Sometimes you hear people that I feel a little off today. Off. What is off? What? Off balance. Off. But you're off. You're feeling you don't know. You can't describe it. You're just feeling like you're not yourself. That's because there's an energy probably around you that can get tuned out. Because we are all vibration. We are made of electricity. We're made of vibration. We move all the time, even when we're standing still. So, and we're going to be demonstrating that. We have an in-person self-tuning class that we're doing on the east end of Ottawa on July the 5th, next month, at the Rainbow Minerals on just very close to Lancaster, near the Science and Technology Museum. There's a place in there that we've already got about 5 or 6 people signed up. We have a maximum of 10. So if you want to use vibration in a very real way, we could show you how to use 3 tuning forks. That's all you need: a clearing, a grounding, and one that brings in love and a high vibration of compassion and passion and so on to your life, and you could do it all the time. These tools are lifelong. More than likely, you will be giving these to your kids. You only have to buy them once. I've had mine for over 20 years. I've done over 10,000 tunings, and it's still going strong. Yeah, so they're basically practitioner quality level tools. All right. So if you want more information about that, let me know. I have it in the chat. Oh, I haven't. There, I have it in the chat now, and so that's good. And to Kara Lee, our sound bath is coming up on June the 24th, and of course your staff and yourself is very available. Just let me know who's coming in, and I'll put them on the list to let them in. Okay, so that is our little way of sort of giving back to the community, because some of your people have already come in, and I hope they had a good experience. We have an amazing one coming up. We got some new solfeggio chimes that are great. So anyway, we'll go more about that. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. We are here to raise your spirits. Ongoing business with, of course, Eric and Josh, and had a BAM with Kelly, Penny Lee, and we had our golf meeting, I think, within the last week. I think Carol Lee was there, Mike and Bernie, and so on. So we're really changing things up this year. Good morning. We're changing things up this year, and going to the St. Louis sponsored golf game, and it's going to be a much wider scope, and we're still going to be able to raise some money for the Canada Food Cupboard, which brings us a lot of joy. Okay, hey, back to you, Bernie.
Tony, thank you so much. The next quick promo is Mike Wazowski. He can be your stand-in for when you're away, so he can represent your business. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you again, Bernie. Sam Stores, ConnectedCars.ca. If I can push this button and it works, there we go. There's my contact information in the chat. Dash cameras are my main thing, as you've probably heard many times, but also do other things: oil changes, brake jobs. And this week I want to talk about oil changes. Summertime is the most difficult time for your engine because it's going to be warm. These days engines are getting smaller, if you haven't noticed, and often they are turbocharged, which makes more stress on the oil of the car to lubricate these smaller portions, like in the turbocharger, the bearing. So I highly recommend that you make sure in the summertime that your oil is of good quality, means that it's been changed fairly recently. When I say fairly recently, If you got one of these small turbocharged engines like my neighbor who just bought it's called a Kia Carnival. I looked it up. It has a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine in this minivan. This is a fair sized vehicle, about the size of a Palisade. I think it's seats 8 people. And he actually has a trailer hitch on the back. I know his trailer's not that big, but what I'm talking about is the stress that this engine will be under in the summertime when it's 30 something degrees, with that turbocharger trying to carry all the passengers to and from on a long trip. That stress on the oil is going to be immense. Well, if you don't take care of it, it's going to let go. And next thing you know, the turbocharger, $3,000 just for the part. Engine could go. Well, you're looking at $5,000, $6,000. So I don't know why they're getting away with these smaller engines in these cars. I mean, that's I think my daughter's my daughter's 2008 Civic has a bigger engine than this guy's has in this minivan. Like it's unbelievable. I just don't understand why people don't look at it and go, I think this engine's undersized for this vehicle. But anyway, it is what it is. So if you have this situation, or you know someone that does, encourage them to get their oil changed sooner than later, which means maybe 8,000 kilometers rather than 10,000. Do not get into the 15,000 kilometers between oil changes. You're just asking for disaster. And I mean that. I don't care what the oil or the oil filter is. 150,000 kilometers on these small engines with a big vehicle is asking for trouble. And like I say, it doesn't matter whose manufacturer it is. Doesn't matter what quality of oil you're buying or whose name or whatever is on the front. And they can advertise all kinds of crap on there. Even the oil filters these days, I see some that advertise 20,000 kilometer oil filters. It's marketing, and you don't want to take a chance with your engine. Like I say, it's thousands and thousands of dollars to repair. So don't ask for trouble. That's what I'm getting at. I don't want to go any further than that. I can go on for hours as usual, but just be aware of that. When you're looking for a new vehicle, you're going to see these small engines with turbocharged, and keep an eye out and maybe find some alternative. Because they're out there, I can even advertise. I can let you know because I've done it for a few people. Let's see, BAMS wise. Steve Rennickmeyer was here last week, oil change for his vehicle. And he came in actually earlier, which is nice because I'd rather change them earlier than later. But his vehicle was in great shape and did the oil change and sent him on his way. Happy man. And I'm happy to see when vehicles aren't left, past their oil change specifics that I provide to the customer. That's it for me, Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. And it's always good to get sagely advice. We got Eric giving us accounting advice and you automotive, which is really good. Just a quick promo for a couple people that couldn't make it today. Kelly's not available. So she is our residential realtor for this group. 10 years plus in the industry. She does residential and commercial real estate. And she's traveled the world as a flight attendant too. So she has a broad background of understanding folks and engaging them. She's in Ottawa, and although she might have a Toronto number, she can work in both places. The next person is, and pipe her name in, is Jacqueline Richards. So yeah, looking to buy a house, so Jacqueline can fill the other part of the void to help you get that mortgage sorted out. And so reach out to the wealthy Eugenie, and she'll help you kind of breathe and be a chill persona. For myself, my name is Bernie Fransgrote, and I talk to people, and I talk to people a lot, so much so that there's a podcast involved, and there's a blog in there. And if you check blog knackforbusiness.com, you will see the most recent chatter that's going out there. Also, what's happening in East Tradewinds and Canada Growth Network. A lot of different folks. Again, I've mentioned Vance and so forth, and or Vanessa. So those two souls are coming in to give us a chat. We're going to swing into a mastermind, and it's about this case. It's the customer retention tips, kind of spinning off of the Vance module that's coming in at 1 p.m. Today. And I'm just going to post in the chat kind of what to kind of source out. And so the post it in the chat here. And so a touch point with no agenda is a retention superpower. No upsell, no offer, just a genuine how's it going. Most clients leave quietly, not because they're unhappy, but because they felt forgotten. And I'm looking for the opinion of the group. And I think I'll swing the mic over to Shane. Are you available? And he might not be because he's doing herd management with the wee ones. I'm gonna swing over to
Pick me.
okay, Tony. Over to you, Tony.
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
That's all right.
You know, you just got all this stuff bursting out of me. So. One thing I found, you're so right. If people feel neglected, it's because it is the same as everything else. It doesn't feel like you're neglected. If you deal with Rogers, you feel neglected all the time. At least that's what my experience. Anytime where I even want to do anything with them, it's like an hour to 4 hours on the phone. But anyway, that's another story. But as far as retention, what is the best is that if you're almost like run your business like a small town doctor. I saw a show last night on how the traditional doctors from a town run it, and everyone knows the doctor. The doctor is always, if he's going shopping or if he sees a lady, and if there's nobody around, he says, "How is that? Whatever coming." The hypertension or whatever is going on with the person is going good. Okay, yeah, come and see me in a couple of weeks because you sound raspy. You know, this is a person that genuinely cares, and I think when we extend that, and just to say exactly what Bernie said, send out a note. I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't seen your car for a while. How's it going? I mean, it's been about 4 months now. And with the driving that I know you do, you should have done almost 10 to 12,000 kilometers on your car. Just checking to see if everything's going on, any oil lights come on or anything. Because the way I say it is something's been tapping me on the shoulders to connect to you, and that's actually what's happening. Actually happens. And they said, "Oh, it's amazing that you just connected to me," but people feel like they're not just a number, that you're a family doctor, so run your business like a family doctor, but with all of the tools in modern day to help you be able to do that. If you've got a couple of hundred clients, and that's all you really need, it takes about 10 to 15 years to get 200 or 250 people that love you. But once you got that, make sure that those people are happy. You don't need, connections to emails, like a million emails that you can send out a note for. I tend to go with the smaller parts, and they just go with the people that you already have and let that organically grow. Because people that, and I think Eric said this, people that are wealthy, people that are successful know other people that are healthy and successful that might need that service. So whatever it is, whether it's cars or whether it's donation, somebody who's a good donator also know other people that donate. That's just the way they are. Not many people hang around with people that don't donate anything. If you give, there's tend to be a community of people. And it's just simply that. And it's just a matter of asking, do you know somebody? We're getting into the summer months. Do you know somebody that might have a little extra or whatever, like you do? It would be really helpful if you could spread the word. It would be awesome. And even just a little note on the website. Thank you so much, Mr. Smith, for donating, and it's like a rolling thing. It's people don't always do it for the notoriety. They do it because they feel good. They do it because there's something there. But yeah, don't forget your clients. You reach out to them, go through your list. What I'm going to be doing very shortly is going to my whole list and printing out all the names, and then just one by one emailing them over the next few weeks, just to say how they're doing and connecting that way. People, it's amazing what they will react to when you send them like a good note that way, something personal, and yeah, that's a way to be able to keep that retention, because you don't find that. Sorry, back to you, Bernie. I was a little long there. Sorry.
No, Tony, it's okay. It's part of the conversation. Eric, you're ready to rock and roll in the conversation?
Sure. No, I think that as I repeated here, we run our practice as if we only had the client we have in front of us.
Yeah.
Right. And when I go, when I'm in the soccer field, when I'm in the dressing room, when I'm having a beer, I don't forget who I am, because people expect me to be who I am. And I'll have someone ask me a tax question. I have someone, I have someone asking me if I take clients. I have, all of that kind of stuff. So I know that I am on most of the time. And I don't look at it negatively. I think it's okay. I think that it's part of being in a professional field. So it's not that I wear a three-piece suit to play soccer, to go to the dressing room, but in the dressing room I have to maintain a certain a certain type of professionalism that other people do not maintain, whether it's me or the guys who are lawyers, or they I have beer with the people. I joke around, but I know the limits of professionalism. So that's how I run my life, right? Uh, and I am a professional. Whether it's for someone that's real, an arm's length person, or it's my daughter and her husband, or it's my wife and her stupid nonprofit organization. I have to maintain this kind of professionalism, and whether I get paid or I don't get paid, because the people that I've mentioned to you are notorious non-payers, right? The I'll get you a case of beer. Well, the case of beer never happens. you know, but I understand they're family members, and they if they have a father that's an accountant, hey, I expect to do their taxes, right? And if they have a husband who's an accountant, I expect that I'm gonna be asked to help them. So I don't ditch it in front of them. I don't think that it's negative. I do, like my wife's nonprofit organization. I do it on my spare time. I don't do it on the firm's time, but I do it as if I was on the firm's time. And if the firm has to get involved for anything, it's prioritized as normal work. It's not put down on down the list because it happens to be a non-paying husband. It's prioritized a non-paying client. It's prioritized, at the same level as anybody else. So that allows me to sleep better. That allows me to keep my standards up. And I think that you have to be empathetic, when you're in business. You have to be to be interested in the client and not in the job. The most difficult thing that you have is when you're in your 20s and you have been trained to be job oriented as opposed to people oriented. And you can see the example of the town doctor. The town doctor is not job oriented, is patient oriented, right? But a younger doctor would have been job oriented. It would have been talking about the disease and not the patient. So you have to be careful when you're in practice not to talk about the disease and talk about the patient, and address the patient, that the client that's in front of you. And the client that's in front of you is more than a tax return. It's more than a year end. It's someone who's going through certain stages in life. Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Valuable 2 cents. Carol Lee, over to you.
Goodness, for some reason today I'm having trouble unmuting myself. I don't know why. You wouldn't know. This is the first time I've been on this call. So it's a little bit unique with us here in the nonprofit world and the food bank world, in the sense that we sort of have two kind of key sets of customers per se. Obviously the families and the neighbors that come in and utilize our services, but then we also have our donors and our community partners. So a lot of the points that Tony as well as Eric hit on are very similar to us, especially with our donors. It's, fostering those relationships and making sure that it's not just give us a donation, then we never say thank you, those thank yous, those personal touches. And we also like to just keep our donors and our partners engaged with what's going on here. And, whether that's sending out the monthly newsletters or just a quarterly update, inviting them to come in and see what we're doing, right? And every time that we connect with them, we're not always asking for donations or money. It's just sharing what's going on. So that way they have a sense of connection as well to our program. Whereas the flip side, with the families that come in and utilize our services, we want them to feel welcome at any time. And sometimes they reach out to us and say, you know what, things are okay right now. I don't need your help. And we're always, champions and cheering them on when they're able to step away. But they always know that the invitation's always welcome to come back if at any point. Sometimes we have families that we haven't seen in 2 or 3 years, and they reach out, I'm struggling right now. I need to come back and use your help. And again, it's welcoming people with compassion, dignity, respect, and just making people never feel ashamed to have to reach out and use a food bank or a program like ours. So it's treating people how you want to be treated, right? That's what it all boils down to.
Perfect. Shane, are you available?
Hello.
Good day, sir.
There we go. Yes, I was listening to Eric and everybody is saying, basically, with the professionalism, it's kind of interesting because, I'm in the hockey rinks and doing that. And, sometimes I'm a very competitive person still. So I'm getting older and slower, which is actually a good thing in my part, because when you get older and slower, you kind of do things less and you're not as intense with things. So there is that kind of thing about, not rubbing people the wrong way and stuff like that too when you're playing. And in the dressing room, you just got to be careful, because anything you say, you never know the opinions that's sitting there. There's the 3 things we don't talk about with patients, right? It's religion, politics, and COVID, right? So those are the main things that you want to stick a little bit away from. Let them kind of speak to you, and usually staying at the status quo, or at least being considerate of both people's things. I think the hardest thing that I keep trying to learn is body language. Body language for me is a very tough thing, because sometimes I wear what I think on my shoulder, and then people say something. Sometimes I'll either, I can be a defensive orientation with the body, or just the tone of your voice can definitely give a different kind of how would you say perspective than what maybe you're saying at the same time. But it's a hard thing if you kind of get connected to your views. And I've always been a person that, oh, why did that person leave, or what did I do wrong, or whatever. And basically what I've always been told from others, like my colleagues and stuff, is like, as long as you do good care, quality care, you're doing your best that you can. Don't worry about the people that might leave or whatever, because a lot of times will either come back or they'll just be appreciative of what you did. How many times have I heard of someone come back going, oh yeah, you fixed me after one time, and I never heard from them again, but now they're back again because something else has come up. It does happen quite a bit a lot of times. And so, what you're doing is probably good work. If you're, genuinely honest to yourself and to them, and you're doing the best that you can, and you're knowledgeable, obviously, that helps just give that kind of feeling to other people that, yeah, I would refer back to them, or I will come back again. They may not tell you directly, or you might not hear about it, but your reputation does grow. I just had a doctor, had a patient go in to see a doctor, came back and like, oh yeah, I was talking to him. Here's my MRI. He says, oh yeah, get some physio, and he's actually heard of you. So never heard of the doctor before, but some people talk about what you've been doing and stuff like that, and they usually say nice things, especially if their patients are saying nice things about you. So, keep up that high level of representation of yourself, and make sure you're doing the things properly, and just be careful. But yeah, working on that body language to me is the hardest thing for me going forward. I got to keep working on that because we don't know everything, and we're always learning. So being open to different views and helping people, something helped them and they liked it, just encourage them. As long as it's not hurting them in the long run, I think everybody just wants to feel good, and mental health is a big issue, as we all know in this day and age. Anyway, that's my 3 cents with a little bit extra. All right. Thanks, guys.
Jane, thank you so much. Keeping in touch with people is kind of key. I'm going to post, and it's not to flog a sale, but it's the Canada Growth Network. When we have that one thing with the CRM with Go High Level, you can program in outreach, right? So if it's a birthday, you can just send out an email. You can, or it's time for something to renew a contract, or time to change your tires, etc. That is a platform, and that's one way you can kind of set up for the reach out. And I know Carol Lee wouldn't remind people, if you're hungry, come here, all right, because they'll know to come. But your suppliers might be the other another avenue. Like, listen, just good to know that you're there. Thank you, right? And the donors. One of the other means that I use to do the kind of the reach out, because at a certain point in time, I know more than 30 people, right, in the business space. And so I pay attention on LinkedIn. When you go into LinkedIn, you can check to see if someone wants to connect with you, or they're asking you to subscribe. And then you have another piece in LinkedIn that says catch up. And it's not the stuff you put on French fries. Let me see if I can give you a quick demo of this, because I think you'll find it. It's a good way to reach out. And sometimes you're gonna see somebody in there, and yeah, I remember that guy, or I remember that gal. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm good. But that said, what you do is you go in. You'll have your links up here. Just go to your My Network, right? And then you go to, so here someone says, listen, and I recognize his name, asking me to attend an event. I could attend, but go to the catch up section, all right? And you'll see something like, hey, this guy is vice president of this particular group, all right? So I'll go click on this. I go, hey, congrats on starting your new role. Click, off, celebrate. And there's a reason why I did that in that particular order, by the way. It helps the algorithm go a bit better. So you get who's going out there. So it does a couple of things. For you, it refreshes your connections, right? So that's why LinkedIn is a really powerful tool. This we both operate with the same firm, but he's out in British Columbia. Right. So I'm looking at that going, hey, I remember that guy. And so, like, boom, out it goes. And I can add a bit more of a detail in there to add some more content. Just let me stop the share here. So it's you'll see these things. You'll see it on Facebook. You'll see it in Instagram. You'll see stuff, and it's like every once in a while, just check. I don't sit here every hour doing this. This morning, I already had done a cycle of this, and I went, oh, okay. So let's what's going on out there. It refreshes your memory, and it also reestablishes a connection with somebody else. And it's not, if something comes out or someone is doing something, I'm like, hey, that they're sort of in a new position. I wouldn't mind knowing more about it. From a podcast sense of the perspective, it might be, we'd like to be a guest because that sounds interesting. I'll know the person, right? And I'll know whether they have the ability to walk and talk all at the same time. Sometimes that's not always the case. Some people don't make ideal guests, but that's okay. It's nothing wrong with them. It's just they're not suited for that particular space. My point is that way I do it, my methodology is, as I'll touch different points of communication. With these trade winds, we have a mail out that goes out so people see what's going on. And again, in this case, it's not so much a pressure, please come. It's like, come when you can. Right. And that's kind of the nature of the beast. You can't make it for a couple of weeks. No harm, no foul. Right. But again, it's the messaging that you convey out even for podcast guests. I've got some people, and listen, I got to go. I can't make the time slot because mom's in the hospital. Major client deal is coming up, right? Some sort of not turmoil, but some major events happening. Sometimes it could be a positive event, sometimes it could be an unfortunate event. It's all good. It's all good. The only time I get annoyed is when someone doesn't show up at all, or they at the last minute they cancel and they don't say what's up, right? And so like much like Shane goes, yeah, you know what? It's you do what you do, right? You may not book them again, and just let it peter out, and that's okay. So I don't think Carol Lee is running into that issue. If they're showing up for a reason. If someone reaches out to Eric because the tax haven isn't working out for them, and they got confused what a tax haven is and what it is not, or someone's brakes aren't working so well, or the tires are bald, not that Sam sells tires. These are the things that we come across. Um, does anybody have anything else they want to add to this story?
I can give you a negative example. I have a client who's a nonprofit organization, and they need to change their accounting to report differently. And to report differently, you have to have a more involved or a more sophisticated accounting program. So I called Sage, and Sage has small business, medium-sized business, big business type of programs, right? So I call, the person that called me back was from big business, and she starts talking to me, and I said I have a nonprofit organization, and they have lots of nonprofit organizations like the Canadian Cancer Society, and big national organizations. So mine is a regional organization, so they're not up there with the Canadian Cancer Society. So the first thing she told me is, we don't want to talk to you if you don't have $20 million in revenue. So I said, well, what about your other software? I can't talk for the other software. We don't want to talk to you if you don't have 20 million of revenue. So I hung up and I called, someone else, and I called Sage, and I said to Sage, you have people in marketing that should not be in marketing. They should be in lead killing division. Because she could have easily sent me to the medium-sized business place, which is down the hall from her, but she didn't. She was not interested. So that's what our employees do. Owners don't do that. In this place, most people are owners, so they own the problem. But in industry, you have a lot of people who are employees, and that's the people that we have to put the money and training on, because they kill the job. They don't enhance the work. Anyways, that's life.
Yeah, some people get so annoyed they just rather just send it away rather than I know somebody that this would be a better fit for. Yeah, it's and it leaves a bad taste on both parties.
Especially to an accountant who has
Yeah,
Sage, who has the three levels of Sage, who has clients in the in the high level, who has clients in the
yeah,
mid level, and they know
yeah.
that because they can see it on the screen that what my number is, right?
So
Yep.
did you ask the rep? I said, "Oh, who's your competitor?"
Oh, I know their competitors.
Yeah, I know, but they asked that question, "Who's your competitor?"
Yeah.
Just the light bulb might come on. So, reach, or if you know the competitor, just says, "Okay, I'll check with this other company." Whatever it might be, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think when you're running into a person, having been in corporate, and you run into some people that have been there for a long time, they wave goodbye because they have to go, and if they didn't go. Uh, they're burnt out for whatever reason, whether it's just a bad company culture or they're tired and they're in dire need of a career change or shift in whether they work in the same corporate space. Um, I'm going to wrap us up with a quote because we're at 9:04. The greatest skill one can develop is decreasing the time between idea and execution, and that's Dan Coe.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm going to give you a call later to book a time for another change.